So, you've recently read Beowulf, right? But, talking to people, you realize you didn't understand half of what you read when you thought you comprehended it word for word. Or maybe you thought the flowery language was too scary, or maybe a bit impenetrable. Or perhaps you had to read one of the 9001 subplots and you just didn't understand. Well, now I'm here to simplify it all for you as, perhaps, a study aid. This video is in no way a study aid. Anyone who uses the one is foolish. It's meant for entertainment purposes only. It's for a good. Oh god, saying things that fast always hurts my lungs. Well, here you go. Beowulf in. Let's spin the wheel of time, shall we? Beep doop 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 doop. Oh no! Come on! No way. Let's spin it again. Do over. Bow. Ugh. Well, that's at least doable. But let's treat that as a guideline. And now, I come to present to you Beowulf in some seconds. There once was a man named Beowulf. He lived among the Geats and the Goats. He lived a grand life, having many adventures. It says in the secret prologue canto that he was actually half shark. Makes sense? Things were different back then, you know? Anyways, let's leave him for now and live his life for a while. There once was a man named Scyld the Sheaf-Child who lived among the Danes. He was also Moses, who lived in Egypt around the same time. You know, like Sarah Palin? I don't know. He was a pretty great guy. He had a child. And then his child had a child. And then his child had 4 children. Woo! And then one of those kids, Hrothgar, eventually takes the throne and is a bloody amazing king. He's so excited and awesome he erects a grand mead hall, Heorot, in his own honor, and throws a great festival that lasts for many days. But one guy didn't like parties. The descendant of Cain, Grendel, lived in a nearby lake and thought Hrothgar's music was ridiculously avant-garde. A bit of a backstory on Grendel. He was the descendant of Cain, who in the Bible murdered his brother Abel. As a result, Cain's offspring were the 1,000 evils of the world. Goblins, imps, monsters, you know, the kind of thing that spiders in Australia are usually named after. Buh. So, Grendel waits until nighttime, sneaks out of his lake, silently moves through the swamp, and eats 30 of the sleeping partiers. I suppose he chews very quietly. Hrothgar and company awake the next morning to discover a whole lot of blood and a whole lot of 30 people missing, and flee. Grendel proceeds to rule the entire empty castle for 13 winters. Well, 13 years too, but 13 winters is so much more dramatic. Word of this reaches Beowulf, and he decides to help. Right as he goes to jump into the ocean and ride a squid to Hrothgar, because he is awesome, he realizes his warriors aren't as amazing as he is, and builds a boat for those little losers. He gets there, and helps Hrothgar out of friendship and in the name of glory. He makes one announcement in addition to agreeing to kill Grendel. He's going to kill Grendel using only his hands, feet, and biceps, when most of his company were probably wishing that fighter jets were invented. That night, Grendel sneaks into Heorot and is surprised to find people sleeping there again. Not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. A gift sleeping people in the slaughter. Okay, a gift horse in the mouth. He eats one Geat, and Beowulf, lying in a wait, allows himself to be picked up when he springs his attack. Grendel is terrified, and in the ensuing fight, Beowulf rips Grendel's arms off, destroys Grendel's dignity, and absolutely ruins Grendel's credit score. Meanwhile, his useless warriors can't even attack Grendel because their swords are just too dull. Grendel flees back to the lake and boo-hoos to Mommy. Only his mother can't kiss his boo-boos better because he got his butt kicked so hard he dies twice. Grendel's mother swears vengeance, and instead of writing an angry letter to Hrothgar, kills Hrothgar's best friend. Hrothgar is slightly put off about this, and offers Beowulf treasure to slay Grendel's mom, too. Beowulf happily agrees, borrows another man's sword, and dives into the lake where the Grendelwitz family lives. And he sinks, like a rock, for hours. Definitely part shark. He gets to the bottom of the lake and is surrounded by all kinds of terrible lake monsters, like krakens and eels, and that kind of kelp that brushes against the bottom of your foot and you think it's a jellyfish and you scream. And Grendel's mother. Grendel's mother quickly takes him into her under-the-lake house, because God forbid Beowulf die before Beowulf dies. Wait, what? The two tussle for a while, and Beowulf's sword breaks. Seizing the opportunity, she pins him and stabs at him with her knife, and he is so awesome that her knife does nothing. Or maybe God strengthened his chainmail. I forget which. Well, anyways, he finds a gigantic sword hanging in her hall. I imagine because it just matched the drapes so well. He removes it, and with superhuman strength, decapitates the mother in one blow. In order to prove that he killed Grendel's mother, Beowulf goes to Grendel's corpse and cut off Grendel's head. Yeah, sure, makes sense to me. Beowulf swims up and is rewarded with treasure. Also, the giant sword melted for some reason. Beowulf goes home to the Geats and is king for 50 years. One day, some dumb idiot face finds a sleeping dragon and decides, hey, dragons are so obsessive about their hoard and know every bit better than their own claw, but maybe I can outsmart this one. He grabs a goblet and runs like he is on fire, because very soon he will be. When the dragon wakes up, it instantly knows that something just went down and instinctually rampages across the countryside, burning everything flammable and most things that aren't. Beowulf decides to fight it, not for the safety of his country, but because, hey, treasure. Taking his greatest warriors with him, in armor and with a shield and a sword, Beowulf gives the cheerful speech to his friends, y'all suck. Only I can do this. But wait out here so you can all see how awesome I am. He enters the dragon's lair, a tower, because when I think dragons, you know, I think towers, and faces the first volley of dragon's fire and his shield melts. Running like he is on fire, because he probably is on fire in some places, all of Beowulf's warriors and advisors flee the dragon because it is a dragon. Well, all of them but one, Wiglaf. A quick aside. Wiglaf, what kind of warrior name is that? Hrothgar is the sound a hammer makes when bashing a head in, and Beowulf sounds like the king of all wolves. But Wiglaf sounds like a new Sesame Street character with, I don't know, some kind of genetic disorder. How about cystic fibrosis? Wiglaf helps Beowulf, and his shield, intelligently made of wood, good going Wiglaf, is burnt to ashes. The next logical thing to do is run between Beowulf and his shield because... Wait, what? I don't even... What's the physics of that? I mean, they both fight the dragon no problem. Sorry to spoil it for you. But they're sharing a previously melted shield. I just don't... Anyways. Wiglaf jumps into combat somehow and helps Beowulf slay the dragon. But not before the dragon bites him in the neck. Wait, what? Okay, the dragon, a stories tall mythological beast with a mouth that could eat men whole, just bit Beowulf in the neck and he keeps fighting. I mean, I know he's amazing and all, and like part elephant and also part dragon and also part shark, but did he like get him with just one tooth? Or is this dragon the size of a horse? I just don't even... Anyways, the dragon is slain and Beowulf realizes the dragon had poisoned him with his bite. What a jerk. Beowulf requests to see the treasure he has won for his people, and his last request is that all the treasure be distributed throughout his kingdom. He is shortly cremated and buried with his treasure and sealed away forever. Was Wiglaf even listening? Way to go again, Wiglaf. So, that's Beowulf for you. There's a bunch more side plots, but this is the big stuff. I mean, this epic was good, you know? You'll like it. There's lots of adventure, but just don't put it under a microscope. It just doesn't make sense.